tell you a story. The book is called Plenty Saimin by Feng Feng Hutchinson. It's a great local book that I used to read to my kids when they were little. You know, small kid time. You know what? Rather than reading it to you, let me show you what it's really all about. First things first, let's get something straight. Saimin is not ramen, though it is a close cousin. Nor is it a Chinese tongmin, though again closely related. It's Hawaii's own unique noodle soup with our own flavors. It's made locally, with two of the biggest noodle manufacturers being SNS and Sun Noodle. Make no mistake, these are fresh-made noodles, frozen and delivered straight from the factory. They aren't fried and dried like instant noodles. I would have taken you to the noodle factory to pick up some noodles, but I needed to stop at Don Quixote for other ingredients anyway. Well, except for the green onions growing in my yard. Saimin is perhaps Hawaii's absolute favorite comfort food. A side of joke, it is the food that you want when you're feeling sick, though maybe just plain without all the toppings. It's the food you miss while you're away, and the first thing you want to get after you get back to the islands. It's the food you have late at night after a night on the town. Every little Chinese kid in Honolulu has fond memories of going with their mom to the butcher shop in Chinatown and getting some char siu. The butcher handing them a delicious, bright red, sticky sweet piece to snack on. Nanami? Though we usually call it kamaboko, uzumaki is essentially the same, just with a red swirl rather than a red-edged half-moon shape. Naruto, the fish cake, not the anime, would also be the same, but with the red and white colors inverted. Everyone knows that Hawaii consumes more spam than any other state. But why does Hawaii love spam so much? It's part of our history. For much of World War II, Hawaii was part of a war zone. Spam was one of the foods that people had to learn how to cook with, and we adopted it so well that it became an integral component of our cuisine. The story goes that when Ray Kroc came to visit the islands to plan the first McDonald's here, Larry Sullivan of Foodland took him to eat Saimin at Washington Saimin stand, and he fell in love with it. So much so that Saimin has, up until very recently, always been served at McDonald's in Hawaii. Though COVID ended that, and we're still very upset about it. In fact, many of the classic old Saimin places have closed up. There's no more Washington Saimin, no more Like Like, no more Uptown Fountain. My dad used to take me to a little neighborhood joint called Tanoya's when I was little. They're gone too. Even Boulevard Saimin is gone, though Tanaka's carries on. Sure, you've got Sakiyas and Shige's and Shiro's, but to me, to get really great Saimin these days, you gotta fly over to Kauai and have some Hamuras. But since I can't just jet over to the other island, let's just make our own. Whereas ramen broth is usually based on shoyu and dashi, or tonkotsu ramen is a bone broth, true Saimin broth has a much more oceany flavor, like shrimp stock. Of course, I could be making my own stock, but I'm hungry and the SNS soup packets are good enough. So, how does that story go? Well, once upon a time, there was a little local boy who was having a birthday. In Chinese culture, besides having birthday cake, you have to have noodles. Long noodles for long life. So his mom made a pot of noodles, and he invited all of his friends over for a party. His Korean friend brought over some extra wonbok, or Napa Cabbage, that they were using to make kimchi with. His Chinese friend brought over some leftover char siu that they had picked up from the butcher. His Japanese friend brought over some kamaboko fish cake that her mom made. His Howley friend brought over a can of spam, cause, well, of course you gotta have some spam. His Portuguese friend brought over some eggs left over from making malasadas. His Filipino friend brought over some green onions from her yard. Finally, his Hawaiian friend brought some opai, or shrimp, and alea, Hawaiian salt, to make the stock. Let me show you how to eat this. Japanese like to take the noodles and slurp them all up in one breath. But Chinese would use the spoon to get noodles, soup, and toppings all in one perfect bite. It's like the different cultures of Hawaii can be found in one bowl. It is the very essence, the very soul of Hawaii itself. Until next time, Joy Kim and a hui ho.